do it.
What's going on? Welcome back to the... Holy cow, that was terrible. I probably have to redo that one. I never
No,
redo.
you gotta leave it in. You gotta leave it in, man.
All right, I'll leave it in. What's going on? Welcome back to the Kickin With podcast. My name is Zac Holcomb, and in the honor of the 50th episode, I've got Police Chief Keith Goyette here with us today, and I'm flubbing the intro, so why not?
Hey, man, roll with it.
Rocking and rolling. Yeah, we'll definitely keep that one in for Kinston too.
Yes, that's why I say keep it in there.
Yeah, okay, cool. It is what it is. Here we are. We're on this fine Friday before Memorial Day weekend. A lot of you have probably already started kicking off your weekend festivities, and bravo to you. I've always been one of those people that wanted to take off the Friday of a 3-day weekend, like Memorial Day and Labor Day.
Well, that was my plan for today, but if you see outside, I'm like, no.
Yeah, just go ahead and keep those hours.
That's it.
Yeah, keep those vacay hours today. I used to do that too, man, in Ohio. When I was working up there, it'd be like you put in for days, and then you're like, no one gets mad when you show up on a day you requested off. When it's the other way around is when people have issues.
Exactly. Well, where I'm from, so I'm from Maine, which I've lived here a lot longer. But in Maine, like October 1st through May 1st, it looks like this.
Yeah, true.
And then it's beautiful after that. So
Yeah,
used
for
to this
sure.
weather.
Yeah, I know. We used to do that in Ohio. We'd like put in like request offs for like every Friday and then show up most of them.
Yep.
But it was always like that one random Friday in like March in the north when you get like a 60, maybe like a 58 and sunny, and you're like, I'm out of here, shorts, t-shirt.
Flip-flops, everything. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm going to the lake today, man. Yeah, for sure. Well, cool, man. Appreciate you coming on. Again, big episode 50. So we've kind of had this one laid out for a while, and then it was like I was really getting close to that, and then I'd like moved and didn't do any episodes for 6 weeks, so here we are.
I was wondering what was going on. I didn't see anything, but
we're
back.
Chilling, trying to catch up on sleep and doing all that fun stuff. So, but anywho, well, we got a big weekend. Got any big plans? Even though it's going to rain all weekend, it's kind of a bummer. But
not really. Probably just going to hang out at the house. Maybe everything goes good in Kinston and just hang out with the family. That's about it.
Yeah,
not a whole lot going on. Yeah.
It usually helps things when it rains, right?
Yes, it does.
On the police side of life.
On our side, for the most part, it does. Yes, that'll get you some domestic violence because you're in the house.
Yeah,
people
that
like
makes
to drink when they're contained in one little setting. But for the most part,
that's true. I hadn't thought about it like that, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so like we always say that about like holidays too.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a holiday setting, everybody thinks, oh, you're not going to have any crime this weekend. Nope, because everybody's home for the holidays. Everybody's drinking and
getting on each other's nerves.
Everything just pops off, and here we go.
That's funny. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's one or the other, but yeah. What is like the perfect weather day for a nice slow day of calls at the office? Oh. Is there a perfect weather? Snow?
No. Well, yeah, actually snow because
everyone's happy.
Everybody's happy, and in the South, when it snows, everything shuts down.
Right, it's a day off.
There's nothing going on. So yes, you're right. Yeah, snow. That's the big day.
Snow day. It's like we'll have to check that. We'll have to run the digits on the crime data and see.
Yes.
No, that's funny. Well, you said the other day, I think for those of you that don't know, this podcast is a big fan of old school WWF wrestling.
That's
just
right.
For fun. Because, it's like one of those things that a lot of people don't really talk about anymore, but it's in the culture. Like.
It is. When I was a kid, like I'm going to say 87. So 1987 to probably about 1990, 91.
Yeah.
Which was I guess I was 7 years old till like 11. Wrestling was everything.
It was life.
Better
than other professional sports.
And then like every now and then on a Friday night, you were at home watching TV and like WWF, back then it was WWF.
That's what
they'd have a special on. You're like, what? And you're just watching wrestling. Next thing you know, it's like the Macho Man's coming out with I think with Elizabeth. Was his wife?
Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah, they would come out, and man, it was just the best thing in the world too.
Yep. I was watching. Have you seen the? So I've let you in on the biography series. Which ones have you caught on?
So I watched obviously the Ultimate Warrior. Watched it twice.
It was a good one.
Yeah,
watched it twice. I know you started texting me stuff, and I was like, yeah, he saw it.
I did, but it was amazing. And I was a kid, I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand why he was retiring and then come back, then unretire, and then retire again. And I've watched Bret the Hitman Hart.
That's a good one too. Yeah,
he was my guy too. So those were my two guys coming up. And then I tried watching another one, but I don't remember which one it was. Foley.
The Mick Foley one is really good.
Yes, I started watching that one, and then like a squirrel, I got distracted and haven't gone back since.
Yeah, dude, you got to go back for the Mick Foley one for sure. Yeah. That's one of my best. Like, I thought that was the best one because he's crazy.
He's certified, probably.
He's gotta be like one thing that I had forgotten about for years was like that he had part of his ear was missing. That wasn't like an actual stunt. Like he legit like got thrown into the ropes, and his thing was he would go into the ropes and he would twist the ropes around his neck and act like he was like caught in the ropes. Well, he did that, which is so sketchy, right? Like it's such a dangerous.
I know.
OSHA would not permit that these days, but he would throw himself into the ropes, and his thing was he would go in and he would somehow twist them around his neck and make it look like he was choking. But when he did this in a match, he legit couldn't get his head out, and he was actually dying, and he slipped his head out. But when he went, the rope took like the top part of his ear. Like that actually happened in a match.
I'm gonna have to check that out this weekend. Then.
It was good. You'll have plenty of time.
Evidently, yeah. So we did just get on watching the Conor McGregor 4-part series on Netflix.
Is that good?
It was pretty good. I mean, some of it was a little repetitive, but it was pretty good. Yeah. You know. Yeah,
I'm with you on those. Some of those series they give you like a 41-minute episode, but like 10 minutes of each episode is just regurgitated stuff. Like if you watch all of them,
yeah,
it's really only like 24 minutes, 25 minutes of stuff.
Kristen didn't know anything about Conor McGregor, so it was kind of interesting for her to learn a little bit, you know. And she was like, "Oh, I like this guy," but in reality, I'm like, "This is a bad dude. He's been arrested like 28 times.
He's crazy.
I mean, he's constantly losing his cool."
Yeah.
Well,
he's Irish.
Yeah. Well, it happens, you know.
Yeah.
Which we went to Ireland for our 10-year anniversary, so she's like in love with Irish anyway. So
is she actually Irish, or are you guys actually Irish?
No, we're not. We just said let's go to.
Just wanted to go to Ireland.
She's been there. We went there, and she actually went to Spain too. So
that's cool.
Spain's her go-to.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, the Heart Foundation. That was my tag team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my tag team crew, man. So
I like that.
And what I learned about the episode was that the British Bulldog was actually his real brother-in-law. Yeah. I didn't realize that. I thought it was just like Mean Gene stuff, you know?
Right. Well, yeah, like that stuff, and then you got like them saying that Hulk Hogan's from California just because it's sexy, and it's like you could have just said he's from Florida. Like Tampa's still pretty cool. Yeah. Like
he's probably like from Peoria, Illinois, or something. Who knows?
Who's that?
I'm just saying like the Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah. Well, supposedly he actually really is from Florida.
Oh really?
Yeah, like in real life. Oh. Terry.
Oh Terry. He's got a show out too. I saw on Netflix last night, but I didn't click on it. So
I haven't seen it yet either.
I was never a big Hulk guy. My cousins, Jimmy and Steve, man, they had like the whole Hulk Hogan kit, like the workout gear, the posters, all the little stuff, and they pop the VHS in and hear his music with him rocking and rolling. I was never a Hulk guy at all.
Not even when he was tag teaming with Ultimate Warrior.
No, not even then.
I saw that promo yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you send me that?
Yeah, he was riding Ultimate Warrior's coat. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, jeez.
No, I don't know.
Jeez. The one thing that I liked figuring out through it was like how, like you can be a huge jacked meathead, but then you still have to like act and get into this character, and like seeing some of the like the cut scenes, especially like the Ultimate Warrior, because that was kind of like that was his weak point as a wrestler was he looked the part, he did all those things, but like he just really wasn't that gifted at like staying. And now like after I watched that, now I see little promos and I'm like, God, he's terrible.
That's what so Bret the Hitman Hart, he said that he retired because who was the guy that played football for Georgia? It was a wrestler, big dude, Goldberg.
Oh yeah.
So Goldberg hit him side of the head with a foot, and he realized his back was all messed up, and he retired. He was like, man, Goldberg looked the part. On a scale of 1 to 10, he was a 1. He was just terrible.
Yeah, he was a terrible wrestler because he would hurt. Yeah. He would like just fall weird, and he was a football player, not a wrestler.
Yeah, and I watched a little episode about that. I mean, I'm watching WWF stuff every day now.
I know.
But he was talking about
Facebook feed.
He was like. Goldberg was like, I consider myself a football player forever, so it was hard for me to do the wrestling thing. Then eventually I realized, okay, I'm a wrestler.
I'm a wrestler. Yeah.
That's
well, money helps you realize lots of things in life.
Yeah, I could be a wrestler. I mean, if they're going to pay me.
Yeah, knees in good shape.
Hey,
good to go.
I don't know. I'm getting a little older. My knee is kind of.
That's why I asked a couple weeks ago if Pete was going to be on WrestleMania. He said, I don't know. I said the knee was tore up. I said that's usually when they bring you back, when you got a big surgery coming up. Anyway,
I got a friend of mine. He's my age. We went to school together. He used to be a big runner, run 3-5 miles every day. I reached out to him the other day, asked how he was doing. Asked if he was still running. He's like, no, I'm just walking now. I can't run anymore. Like my cartilage is all gone. I'm like,
it's all shot.
I was like, well, I quit running 20 years ago, so that's why. See, look, we're not great.
Yeah, better knees.
That's right.
Support knee health. Like hashtag knee health. Don't run.
Absolutely.
Walk.
Yeah. So who was your go-to guy?
So my top dude was Hulk.
Oh, you were.
But it's my name, like Hulk, Holcomb.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So like growing up, that's what people call. And it was funny too, because like you've seen Lola, my daughter. She's like super tiny. I was super small. Like I was like 7 and 8 years old wrestling 45 pounds and under. I don't think most kids around here have 5-year-olds that are bigger than that.
Did you have like a mattress in your yard sometimes? And you would just start wrestling?
Well, I had a water bed, so we would just jump off the headboard on the water bed. I don't know how I got that, but
that could have been dangerous.
Yeah, it was awesome. I had the Smash pillow. So the Smash pillow, you remember those?
Yes.
Yeah, so like the stuffies are like maybe like, I don't know, 30 inches tall. I had the Hulk one and the Macho Man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And so I could wrestle against both of them at the same time and I could beat both of them on my own. It was like a 1v1v1.
The Macho Man, he gave the best interviews. You can just go to YouTube and watch like 20 minutes of his interviews.
He's amazing. There's you can't even go to the supermarket and check out and not look at an orange and red or like a yellow and red packet on the counter and not go snap into a it's he's immortalized forever.
He's still up there. Like if you go get you a Slim Jim, now they have like the mega ones, size of a water bottle. But either way, and he's still on the cover of it.
Yeah. Think about those royalties, man. Because that was just like a snack. I mean, it was like selling beef jerky, but now all of a sudden everybody needs it.
Oh, it's so good too.
Yeah. I know Steph was eating one like yesterday. She just threw a wrapper away this morning.
So just terrible heartburn for an old guy like me, but it's very good.
Yeah, you got to watch the Macho Man episode. It's kind of like some of it's really good, and some of it it's kind of like it's uncomfortable because he was like such a this is the '80s, so like calm down, everyone. This was the '80s, and these guys were all hopped up on all sorts of stuff and cocaine and drugs and everything.
Absolutely.
But like he gets ripped. I think like some of his legacy is a little tarnished by him being like such a womanizer and that being a part of his character and like being real mean to Miss Elizabeth and stuff.
Yep.
And they kind of like talk about that for a second, but they kind of get you like feeling bad for even ever liking him. And then they kind of they reel it back.
They bring it all back in.
But you're kind of like, man, I'm a piece of crap. I had a Macho Man like sunglasses and stuff. And
Did you ever go like watch him live?
I've never seen him live.
Oh man, when I was a kid, when I lived in Charlotte for like 2 years, I was like from 10 to 12. So we went to a couple matches in Charlotte, and then my buddy Jamie, his dad brought us to Winston-Salem. So we went and watched one there, and then I had my cousins used to live in Philadelphia. Their dad was in the Navy, so we go up there for vacation, and while we're there, SummerSlam or something's going on in Philly. Like, hey, you want to go? Like, yeah. So we went and watched. It was amazing, man. We saw like the Rockers against the Bushwhackers or something. It was, it was cool, man.
So yeah, my parents let me watch it. So I was born in '88. So like I'm like a little tiny baby. I didn't miss like most of the '80s stuff, but they like I don't know if my dad had it on like tape or something. And so like I relived the '80s WWF stuff in the early '90s as like a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, which was amazing. Like you're like wearing like you got your little the dog. That brings us to our first sponsor. That's Big Bark Social right there.
Oh yeah, there you go. I like it, man.
So, but yeah, we had we kind of like caught up with all the videos. Whoever is out there is really pissing her off. Man, that's the loading zone. It's being used for loading right now. Probably
call the police, man.
I sent in a tip.
Hey man, $25 fine.
I saw that you guys posted that out today, by the way. Not to jump over
Sergeant
to that.
Biggins put it out. He put some information out today, just kind of let everybody know about like food trucks.
That was interesting.
Yeah, parking fines and what was the other one?
Noise ordinance.
Noise ordinance. Yeah, he was working on that when I left a little while ago. But the food truck thing, he was like, man, this mean we can't have food truck like in front of the restaurants? I'm like, no, you're not supposed to.
Right.
If you look at if you read the actual ordinance, it's got to be in a parking lot. There's certain regulations.
Mm-hmm. When was that put in? Do you know? I didn't know about it really. I heard that there was one, but I didn't never done the research to see it.
I think that was put in around 2017.
Oh.
I was just looking through some ordinances a couple months ago and found that. And I was like, oh man, we've been in violation. Or some people have been in violation of that because they'll park it on the side of the road, and then you have to park it so far away from a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
So I mean, so I'm like, well, if I don't know, I know people don't know. So let's throw it out there, just so everybody's in compliance, and everybody knows what's going on. Yeah. So
that's half the battle is just knowing what the rules are. Right?
Just the information, in the parking scene. You can drive around downtown. You can drive through Food Line. You can drive anywhere, and people are parking, illegally.
Mm-hmm.
To include me, every now and then, if I go to a call, I park on the wrong side or something, But so people don't know that, and then I was like, we got to do something. It's $2 fine. It's like a joke. So that's how we got that increase right there. So
which full disclaimer, that money doesn't go to the police department.
No,
it goes to the general fund
that's
for the city.
We don't get anything. No.
Pretty cool. Nope. It's actually a great thing for the city. I mean, like need revenue, got an issue, bam, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Really, we just hope people just comply. When you
Yeah,
see
just-
that,
just
you know,
park on the right side of the
just park on the right side. You know.
Well, that's what I enjoy. So, like, yeah, not to like jump all the way down this because wrestling is very important.
Oh,
but I love the parked on the left side, like on the wrong side, facing the wrong direction, and then I like the psyche of being like, well, what's the big deal? I'm just parked. It's not a big deal. And in my head, I'm like, but the moving violation to go left of center to then park there is that's actually the points on the license, moving violation. So you did a moving violation to get there to be illegally parked.
So my wife, she asked me that just 1 week ago. She was like, well, what does it matter if you park on the opposite side of the street? What is that harming? So I brought that up, and I said, not only that, but say there's a vehicle in front of you, and you have to come to get out of that park position, you can't see what's coming up on you.
Yeah, the driver is pinned to the curb, not on the street side. Exactly.
So then when you go to pull out, you get smashed, and now it's your fault, and you know.
Yeah. Now you're wrong way, and it's
so,
it's like now it's 3. Yeah. It really does snowball.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's nothing to like really panic about. We're just trying to make it better downtown and everywhere else. So you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I like it though. I think it's funny. But yeah, I woke up to the road or the food trucks post, and stuff I didn't know. Yeah. It makes sense though when you think about it, like the parked in a street parking space, and usually they're wide and big. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just like, you know, it's like a truck just parking there for a minute and having lunch, but you know.
And it was like it was brought to my attention today. Like, well, we like this truck being parked on this road right here in front of this business. Now what are we going to do? I'm like, just park it in the parking lot in the back of the business, which is equally as visible. Mm-hmm. So it's not really going to harm anything. This way, it doesn't hurt with, you know, if you're going up to the food truck, people are walking illegally, they're crossing the street illegally. There's a chance they can get run over, or maybe the generator sticking outside in the roadway. So it's a safety precaution. Yeah, that's all it is.
Well, and it like, I know what you're talking about too, and then it also opens up parking spaces right there at the front door. So I mean, that's fantastic too.
You can still have.
Yeah, you can still see it. And because it's really open too, and I mean you can really see. But yeah, that was the one main thing that I had thought about when I read it this morning.
And that's something that we've been trying to do really for, I guess the last 6 months is really kind of blow up our Facebook page and social media with information, just so people know not only what we're doing, but maybe sometimes the why. You know.
Yeah, the transparency of it.
Yeah, if you can provide that information, you know, it brings more interest, and then people can know, oh, okay, that's why I understand that. Okay, all right, they're not stopping 100 cars this week to harass us. They're trying to slow the traffic down. Okay, you know.
It's just awareness of like, hey, you know, just let you know, you're 12 over there, right there, rolling through yellow. It's not a big deal, but you know, try not to do that.
I can tell you, like,
now they're really gonna go.
Yeah, now they're really gonna bark. There's right there.
There we go.
But I mean, I lost my train of thought once I saw that. You know?
So anywho, back in the early 90s, I'm watching all these videos and catching up on the wrestling. But yeah, my guys were Hulk Hogan because my name was Holcomb, so it was super easy.
I can see that.
Easy to go with there. I was a Hulk Hogan fan and a Michael Jordan fan.
So
those are my 2 guys.
In order for quick transparency alert, like I'm not a Tar Heel fan whatsoever. Like you grow up like in North Carolina, you grow up either like a Duke, State, Carolina, and I was just like I don't care who, you just hate Carolina, you know, because they were so good and everybody liked them, you know. So
I understand. It's like being a Buckeye fan.
But at the same time, I loved Michael Jordan. You know, we all loved Michael Jordan. I was a Celtics fan growing up,
still,
and a Hornets fan. But I mean, you still watch WGN to watch Michael Jordan play. You know, so I was a big Jordan fan too. Matter of fact, I'm watching The Last Dance for the third time.
Yeah.
For the third time.
I think I burned through it twice, like right when it came out. But yeah, that stuff's amazing. It's a really good series.
If you haven't watched it in 2 years, man,
it's probably time.
Crank it back up. It's so good.
That's true. And I burned through all of the WWE or WWF biographies, I think, too. So
I'm working ready to go. So I'm gonna get some more of that action pretty soon. So I was a big Jordan fan. Me and my friends growing up, we were big NBA fans.
Oh yeah.
I mean, same. I remember Sunday, we would go to our buddy's house, and 12 of us, and we would watch Michael Jordan play, and we would go outside and play basketball 3-on-3, and we'd have teams, and we watched NFL too. Now, don't get me wrong, we were football fans, but for us, it was the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, we just loved it. And then, so when Jordan retired, that took a lot of the allure away. So then at that point, I was like, I like the Knicks, man, because I like John Starks. And they were always fighting. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I did. I remember what.
So I became a Knicks fan for a little bit. But then when Jordan came back, I was like a closet Bulls fan. Didn't let nobody know.
Yeah.
You
had to be a Bulls fan after '98.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like you were like old news. You hadn't.
You're a
gotten
has
hit
been.
yet. Yeah.
But I just have not really. I think I watched the NBA like a 2008 season a little bit, but I don't know. I lost it. The same thing with baseball, though. I don't watch baseball anymore.
Really?
I used to love it, and I just don't.
Who was your baseball team?
So.
Because you didn't have the Nationals down here.
I'm from Maine, so you always have to represent Boston. So I was always a Boston fan, but when I was a kid, they were terrible.
Right. I remember that.
But then, so like my cousins that go to Red Sox games, I never went to a Red Sox game until I was older. Mm-hmm. But so probably you're probably in the same boat I was in. When I was a kid, you got out of school, you had two options. You had TBS, WGN. Do you watch the Cubs? Do you watch the Braves? And the Cubs are always on at 3 o'clock when they got home from school.
Exactly.
And they had Andre Dawson. They had this great pitcher named Greg Maddux that nobody knew about, but he was really good. Ended up being great.
Yeah.
But they had the best second baseman that ever played baseball, Ryan Sandberg. So I was a Cubs guy.
Yeah.
I was like the only Cubs fan. So I'm really good with Cubs trivia from like 88 to 91. After that,
oh, dang. It's too bad you didn't have it till like 97 because then I'd have picked you up and rolled you through to the current.
So my last year of high school, 97, 98, we would so it would be 98. We would come home and we'd watch the Cubs games. Mm-hmm. We came home. We had a baseball game that night, but we watched the Kerry Wood game.
Yeah,
I
watched that too.
We were at home after school, watched Kerry Wood. It was like awesome, man. It was like six guys in the living room watching it. Yeah. So I'll claim Red Sox and Cubs,
which is fine. Different leagues.
Yep, and
so you're good.
Those are my two teams. I was a big Sandberg fan growing up, big Wade Boggs guy. And then whenever like Wade Boggs went to the Yankees, it was like, oh no, I can't pull for him. But you had to because the Red Sox got rid of him.
Right.
So
that's true too. I met Wade Boggs actually.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
He was hammered. He was like this was like maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. Oh no, God, this was like 2011 when I met him. But yeah, he was. It was like a bunch of guys came in. They were doing like signings and stuff.
Yeah.
Frank Thomas was with that group.
Big Hurt.
And Big Hurt was still big.
Yeah.
But
now he's selling like testosterone bottles.
Yeah, which fits. Yeah, Wade Boggs he was just like shit faced the whole time.
You can look it up and you can look it up, Google it. But I think he once drank like 106 beers in one sitting.
Wade Boggs or Frank Thomas?
No, Wade Boggs.
I think that's correct.
I think that's correct.
Dude, I worked the bar at a hotel in downtown Columbus, and he just was with us the whole couple of days that they were in there. Just obliterated.
He was my guy, man.
He was there, but like...
Yeah, he was like... when I first started watching baseball, he was averaging like 344, 350. Like, who hits that, I can't even hit like 270 in high school.
And that's when the pitchers can kind of do whatever they want in the 80s, too.
Yeah.
A lot of pine tar in the 80s.
I remember Rich Sutcliffe was an old Cubs pitcher I liked.
Yeah. Ended up doing baseball tonight for a while, too.
Yeah. Man, I used to love it. Yeah. Baseball tonight was the best thing ever, man.
That was amazing. If you're a numbers person.
Yeah.
I mean, you could not even care about sports, but if you just like numbers, you're a baseball fan.
So when I was a kid and I lived in Charlotte before I moved to Kinston, which is a whole different story, but so we had to get, we got bused. So if you live in this neighborhood, we get bused, 50 minutes across the city. So we live in an apartment complex and I would walk to the bus stop at like 5:45 in the morning. I would get the USA Today every day, 50 cents, pop it. And on the bus, I'd read the sports page, man. I would look at the box scores. I loved it, man. Which I loved baseball cards back then and everything. I thought I was going to be a baseball player, but I peaked in like 8th grade. That was it, And I was like, man, I had a good career in my 8th grade year and 7th grade. And I was like, oh, man, I told my buddy Mark, I'm going to go to high school, go play for the Kinston Indians. And realized really quick. We had I knew the baseball coach, the hitting coach. His name was Danny Norman for the Indians. I think this was the 94, 95 season. And he would let me come out there and practice with the team and field balls and stuff. And I realized by the second practice, I was never going to play minor league baseball because those guys are really good.
It was amazing. Yeah.
I thought I was good, but I was like, oh, they have talent. Mm-hmm. I'm like wiffle ball talent,
Speaking of that, did you see the big wiffle ball tournament coming up at Granger?
It's only like $40 to get in, man. I once threw my arm out playing wiffle ball.
Were you a good wiffle pitcher?
Well, I like to throw the heat. And if you hold it a certain way, you can throw the heat. And I figured it out. Me and my buddy Kenny, that's what, like, whenever we were off work, So what we would do, we would have like wiffle ball tournaments between both of us.
You play 1v1?
Yeah, that's all we did. Yeah,
we do home run derby.
Yeah, we do that too. And then like he made a wiffle ball in his backyard, like a little field and everything. Yeah, it was legit.
It's awesome.
But we had two different balls. We had like the official wiffle ball, which you could throw massive breaking balls, but I wasn't good at that. But then we had these other balls that you could just throw massive heat, and those were mine. But anyway, I threw my arm out, and seriously, like to this day, I can't even do like bench presses because of that injury. Yeah,
that's funny. You have like permanent tendon damage.
Yes, but I would be interested in playing in that tournament.
I was wondering if I was expecting to see a KPD squad pop up for that. To be honest,
I'm surprised because I saw that and I was waiting, but nobody's approached me yet. I mean,
who would be your top? Like, so the way that sets out is you get 4 players and 1 sub. Who would be like? What would be the ideal team for the KPD?
So I would definitely not be on the team.
Not even an honorary pitcher?
No.
Oh, that's right. You're injured.
Yeah. Damn. You don't want me up there. So I don't know. I would definitely look at the young guys. I might put Sam up there. He's in charge of our training division. He's also really, really big with the Battle of the Badges. He's like our go-to guy. Yeah. He's actually one of the main people
for that,
that's put it together. So he would definitely have to be up there if logistics just by itself. But he's pretty good too. And then I would just let him pick a team. Hey, who do you think?
Yeah, that's all you do.
We got a couple good guys.
Got some good youth down there.
Yeah, we do. We got one guy that I think he played club ball. I don't know if it's true or not, but
he put it on his resume.
Yeah, he put it on his resume.
It was in the notes.
All right. So look, that's a true. I'll tell you a true story. Not that all my stories are lies, but this
contrary to all the other ones, this one's actually
this
true.
is the actual true story. And any old KPD people who are, well, I'm the old guy now, but the ones who are retired who happen to see this, they'll snicker and laugh because it's true. So I worked for Aden Police Department. That's where I started.
Okay.
I went to BLET here in Kinston. Aden picked me up. Back then, KPD was full and it was actually pretty hard to get on. So I got to work for Aden. Randy Askew was like number 2 here. He was like a captain, but was really the unofficial assistant police chief. He calls me up one day. I was like, hey, I heard you're a police officer. And I'm like, yes, sir. Why don't you come to Kinston? So I was like, I don't know, Kinston's big, Aden's small. I was really comfortable in Aden. And then one of my good friends, he worked here. His name was Russell Flint, but he was going to BLET. So Russell had put in for the police department, and they wouldn't hire him. So then he had like a softball game, and the police chief at the time saw him. He hit 5 home runs that game. And then he went and was like, hey, you want a job? So that's how he got hired. So then Russell's like, hey, man, you got to come work with KPD. So I'm like, I don't know. So then Captain Askew calls me, and anyway, long story short, I go before the interview. And I'm in an interview. It's like 2 police, it's the police chief, a bunch of detectives, and some assistant police chiefs in there. And I'm like really nervous. And the police chief says, hey, Keith, did you play ball growing up? I'm like, yeah, I played ball. Did you play baseball? Like, yes, sir. Where'd you play at? I was like, I don't understand the question. He's like, what position did you play? I was like, oh, okay, I played third base. I said, we have a softball team on the police department, and our shortstop just left us to go somewhere else. Would you be interested to move from third to short? And I'm starting laughing. I'm like, yeah. He says, son, this is no laughing matter. Would you be willing to move to shortstop? So I was like, yes, sir.
I'll do anything to take the job.
Yeah, I'll do it. So anyway, I get hired with KPD, and then the team dissolves. But that was like an actual question.
That was a part.
The police chief asked me, would I be willing to move from third base to take over shortstop? And truth be told, you wouldn't want me at shortstop because I was terrible. I mean, I could move left, but I couldn't move right.
I was going to say, do you have a lot of lateral movement?
No. Just put the big goofy guy at third base, and if he doesn't catch it, he'll hit him in the chest and I'll knock it down at least.
Right, it's like second catcher. Yeah, that's hilarious, though, dude. Do you guys ask that now?
No. Now, honestly, I don't even sit in interviews anymore, so I trust those guys. They know what they're doing. I delegate that. Let those team pick who we're going to get. Yeah. So that's my softball story right there.
That's hilarious.
I did play church league softball a couple of years ago. I was terrible. Yeah. So I had to just put the cleats up.
Yeah, I know. We tried to get you into like kickball, but
I had city council meeting that night. I was coming.
It was such a bummer they had the council meeting that night.
I know. So
that's what it is. Oh well.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's all right. At least you didn't miss anything. 'Cause we didn't do too well. We got 4th. Man. 4th? Yeah. Out of 9.
Oh, well.
Don't say out of 5. Come on. We're better than that.
I didn't know. Yeah, I was low.
We had the championship teams we had in the first and second round.
Did you lose bad?
I don't know what we lost to go out. I can't remember. We won the first game against the Bojangles. They ended up getting second. We won. We beat them in extras. Bottom of the first extra inning. Leadoff runner scored at home. Walk off, and then they got us coming back through.
There used to be a kickball league by Kinston Parks and Recreation years ago.
Really?
Yes.
Corey, we got to bring that back.
Yeah, seriously.
Did you see the dodgeball that they do in like January, February?
Yeah. We used to play dodgeball when I was in middle school, man, and you'd feel bad for those, for like the girls. I mean, they would, like some of these dudes would just light them up, hit them in the face for no reason. I was like, oh man, then I'm getting hit in the face.
Yeah, because you're watching them get hit and then you get hit. Yeah. We called it war ball. I don't know why at school, but then I think, I don't know if war ball was more like sensitive than dodgeball. I don't know why they called it that, but I remember we had in elementary school, our gym class was in like this little barn outside. It was like they had like the carpet on the ground where you'd tear yourself up real bad. And like all we ever did in there was either practice layups. It was a basketball school, private school. They either tried to train you to play basketball because the high school was trying to be serious about that, or you would play dodgeball, war ball. And so I remember playing this one particular game. I was tiny, I remember. And we were playing this game, and I ended up being the last person on the team, and they couldn't get me. And then he was like, no lines. And then I just like blacked out. I went in the corner and must have got destroyed, blacked out, woke up, came out of it, and was like, did we win? And they were like, no. He got killed.
We called it, this isn't PC, I don't think, but it was called Indian dodgeball. I don't think you could say that now. But
yeah.
At the time. I don't know. But it was cool. Like you would get nailed if you caught it. They would, if you were on the sidelines and you got involved, if you caught the ball, then you could take that person out. It was weird. You would get out and then come back in. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Ours was if you caught it, you could, last out would come back in.
That might have been it. I don't know. We're talking, 25, 30 years ago.
Just the other day, yeah.
Yeah. That was longer than that for me. It was 30, 31 years ago. So, I'm getting old.
I don't know when the last time I played dodgeball was. It's been a long time. Not that long. We do it in the wrestling room all the time, man. Because it was like we had a little room, and then you had mats on all the walls and the floor. It was perfect. Why not?
Wrestling. I wish I would have wrestled. I did it for 1 week when I went to Kinston High School. We had a wrestling team, and you had to do these things called. They called it a Viking. You had to run around the entire KHS complex.
Yeah.
And we had to do 5 a day. And about the 5th one, I was like, Coach Martin, I'm out, man. Can't do this.
I didn't sign up for cross country.
Yeah. Plus, like I was like 175 at the time, and I was gonna have to fight. Like I was only a sophomore, but I was gonna have to fight those. Well, not fight, but wrestle those big dudes. And I was like, no way. I don't want a part of those guys.
Yeah, being like a over 150 pound weight class wrestler as a freshman and sophomore, tough. Because you're wrestling like these manned out dudes that are like 17, 18, sometimes 19. And they're huge.
I really like it. Like I like watching wrestling, like actual like high school wrestling, or watching those kids go at it, they get amped up and stuff, and it's intense, man.
I love it.
I wish they would have had it at Kinston High School when my son went there. Because he played football, and I think it make you tough, make you learn to
big time on like the leverage stuff and like controlling your core and leverage and all the things that you do out of that is huge, man. That's why I try to like snag as many like guys that are trying to be serious about being a football player. Like, if you're trying to play college football and all you're doing in the wintertime is lifting, then go do wrestling and lift and never, ever, ever lose a pound if you don't want to. But it's going to make your footwork way
I don't
better.
understand, like, the one sport kid. It's like there's so many things you can do, If you play football, baseball's going to help you, basketball, track, Which I didn't run track. I wish I would have. There's a few things I wish I would have done.
Yeah, I did track once, and I was pretty miserable. I hated it.
I hated running. Even like in middle school, our baseball coaches, if you were a pitcher, you had to run an extra, I think it was 1 mile or 2 miles a day.
What?
I don't know why, but it built, I don't know if it's a lie or if it was the truth, but it builds your arm strength up. So in middle school, I pitched, and I had to run every day extra. And then when I got to high school, I went and got my coach, and he's like, are you a pitcher? I'm like, no, sir, I don't pitch. And I never pitched in high school. Yes, I did. I pitched my sophomore year, but when I got to varsity, I was like, no, I don't pitch.
Yeah,
no.
Smart man.
I'm not running extra if I don't have to.
That's what wrestling ended up becoming for me, was just like, I was actually just a runner and a guy that had a diet all the time. And then it was like, but, I might get like 12 to 15 minutes of matches a week. And it was like, golly, it was just so much time and effort going in. It's like 140 hours a week to get 15 minutes of time because you can't sleep because you're dehydrated.
I got mad respect for wrestlers though, man. Like a good friend of mine, his son wrestles, and he had to lose. I don't know, he had to cut like 4 pounds or something. Mm-hmm. And like he woke up the next day and was like, I'm just so thirsty. I'm like, why didn't he drink? He's like, he can't. He's trying to cut weight. I'm like, what? This is ridiculous, man. I mean, I try to go without a meal, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm like, it's like 11:30. We could probably just cut out and go call this lunch.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go. Let's a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
Get a pie.
Yeah. Dude, the worst one I ever did was I weighed 119 and a half on a Friday at 3 p.m. And Monday morning, it was a tournament during like Christmas break. And it was like a huge tournament. It's like, I can't remember. It was like Medina was where it was at. It was like ranked at the time, like one of the top 10 or 12 toughest high school tournaments in the country. And so we had that Friday. This dude, I was wrestling at 12, and I was like, I'll go down to 3 at some point this year. I'll go down to 103 at some point. And then my buddy was at 19, and he was going to come down to 12. Well, he showed up to practice, and he got sick and like threw up a bunch. So he like walked into practice and was like really, really light. And so he was like, I'm going to 12. Well, I had enjoyed Christmas. And so I was like, so we were almost like at the same weight. And so he's like, I'm going down. I was like, there ain't no way I'm making it to 3. Like, no way. So I was like, just put me at 19. And then I went to like my private workout after practice that day. And I was like showering after, and this dude that my trainer and my dad's crazy. So they were talking about it, and I come out, I'm like in there like drinking water, like, this is great, man. I don't have to cut any weight. I'm gonna have a great weekend. I'm gonna get my ass kicked on Monday, but I'm gonna have a great weekend eating. And I come out and they were like, we can get you to 103 if you want to by Monday morning. And I was like, what? He's like, I'm serious. You're gonna do this, and then you're gonna come back here. This dude had like, he was a college wrestling coach that then Title IX like did away with their team, and then he just he built like an addition to his house, put a wrestling mat in it, and put an HVAC system and pumped heat into it, and he just did like private lessons. So basically, long story short, it was like I spent about 6 hours each day. I went home that Friday and then came back and did a workout from like 8 to 10. So it was like my third workout of the day, and then did the same thing Saturday 3 times over there, same thing Sunday 2 times with him. And then we had to drive up to this tournament. But anyway, from 119 and a half Friday at 3, I walked in Monday morning at 7 to the weigh-in, and I'm like going down through. So they'd given you a 1 pound allowance, so you only had to weigh 104. But when you did this at the time, you had to do something called like certifying. So you had to like make the scratch weight, which was 103, at least one time during the year to be like able to do that in the postseason. So I walk in, and I was like, man, I was so miserable. It was the whole week was like, just get to 104. Well, then I got there and I was like, shit, I'm like 103.7 when I woke up. So I just put some stuff on and started running. So I'm like in there running. So they let me step on the scale, and I'm like 103.1. They're like, try this one, 103.1. So I'm like going down the wall and checking all the different scales. I can't get it. I'm like blowing my nose, trying anything to like get 0.1 off so I don't have to go down that far again. And finally, this dude just looks over and he's like, 103.0. Like I looked so dead. He just like gave me the 0.1. I was like, thank you so much. And then I wrestled all day. I did that, and then the first freaking match, I was a seated wrestler. But if you were a freshman, you couldn't be seated at all. You were just like a random pool. So my coach was like, "Oh, Zach's fine. He's going down to 103. He's gonna pull some like schlep kid and kill him. We'll take the extra team points." So he put me on a rat tail line to give me an extra match, like a warm up match. The person they pulled in place on my line was a freshman from like the 5th ranked team in the country.
Some beast.
Some dude that ends up winning like 3 state titles. So I get and he won the state title that year in Division I. So I'm like, hey, I lose like 17 pounds, and it's like, here's the state champ. Have fun.
Man.
So it was terrible. I lost that match, wrestled the whole day, and then made it to qualified for the second day, which was cool. It's 8 o'clock, and you have till midnight to lose 7. Yeah, I think I had to lose 4 more pounds to get like another win. It was horrible.
Dedication, man. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
It makes you like super mentally tough on issues.
Yeah.
But then it's also at a physical, like you feel terrible and your mind. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
So what do you think? You think it's going to be the Loch Ness Monsters, or we're going to go with the unicorns? What do you think?
I don't know. I really like the unicorns idea. I'm a big fan of that.
What would those uniforms look like?
They better be beautiful and
It'd be
rainbow.
like Houston
sparkle.
Astros and just that old school.
Denver Nuggets.
Yes. The unicorns, man.
Yeah, you have to get all the colors going. I'm a big fan of that because they could also have like, think of the batting helmets with like maybe like a little mane and a horn on them. Yeah. Like the motorcycle helmets.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. So yeah, unicorns or Kinston Loch Ness Monsters. It's also good.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm excited.
Yeah. So tell me about this. We had originally talked much about the seal.
Yeah, the
city seal and the story of the unicorn.
So I actually was on Facebook last night on a particular area where there's a baseball team, and they were like talking about the unicorns, and someone was like, "Hey, can you even explain what the unicorn? Why is there a unicorn up there?" Well, the unicorn, I'm gonna do my best to explain this. So, the royal governor of Kinston, or of North Carolina, I'm sorry, lived in Kinston, like it's 1754 or something like that. His name was Arthur Dobbs. So he's actually Scottish,
Okay.
but he comes over here, and he's the royal governor, of North Carolina. He's actually settled down in Tower Hill, which is a little outside the city limits. Matter of fact, if you go to Tower Hill Road and keep on going, there's a little rock and a little marker. So it's like 1 mile outside the city limits. His name was Arthur Dobbs, all right? So he's pretty much the founder of Lenoir County. It was called Dobbs County before it was Lenoir County. Anyway, his family crest has a unicorn in it. So that's where the unicorn comes in.
Gotcha.
So if you look at the family crest, and the go-to guy, if anybody has any questions about the city seal or anything Kinston, is a guy named Doug Connor.
Okay.
All right? So Doug Connor is our historian at the police department. He's a sergeant. He works in our investigations division. Really smart guy. Loves Kinston. But I asked him about the city seal one day, and he put this elaborate thing together for me. And matter of fact, it's hanging up in the police department right now.
Oh, sweet.
So if you go to the police department, there's a plaque, and it's got the picture of the seal, and then it explains the 1762 and the crown was for King George. And then it's got the there's like blue wavy lines in the crest. That's for the Neuse River. And then it's got the Native American. It was the Neuse Indian and stuff. So there's a lot of information that we have at the police department. And then Doug was the guy, man. Doug Connor's the man. Matter of fact, you on your last show, was it your last one? It was the one before that with Jeff Laws. Mm-hmm. So Jeff's wife is Dana. That's Doug's sister.
Oh, no doubt.
Small world, man,
It's Kinston.
Yeah, you're right. 19,000 people,
Yeah. I like that, to be honest with you. Like, seriously, for me, that's the biggest positives. A lot of the positives here are the things that are sometimes viewed as negatives. Mm-hmm. And, like, a town of 100,000 brings a lot. It's a whole different lifestyle. It's a whole different game than
different vibe.
19,000. Yeah. No, I mean, you don't have to hit the freeway to go anywhere. It's amazing. All the way to Walmart being a saying here. When I first moved here, Jock Passley was like, I'll just wait. I was like, man, it was awesome. I was telling him how cool it was. Everything's like 8 minutes away. Because you'll know you're officially a Kinstonian when you say I've got to go all the way to Walmart. And I was like, oh, whatever, dude. And then like 10 days, not 10 days, probably like 10 months later, I said it, and I was like, oh no.
Or when you call it the Walmart. The Walmart. Well, me and the wife have to go to the Walmart.
To the Walmart. I like that too.
The Walmart, yeah. But Kinston's awesome, man. But I wish that we would do more like with the city seal, man. I love it. We try to blast it to the police department. We try to blast it out there, and like in our police patch. That's the focal point right there. So we're proud of it.
I like the badge thing that you guys do, like the putting out of all the different badges that you can pick up, or the patches. That's freaking cool. Like it's a cool way to like communicate and associate yourself.
Well, I would tell you, wait until Battle of the Badges. So that's a 2-day event in August, and Sam's going to kill me because I don't remember the dates, but it's like 20-something. It's the last weekend, I think, or the second last weekend of Battle of the Badges. We're going to do some advertising, but we're going to sell T-shirts and stuff. It's for a good cause, too. It's for cancer. But one of the things that we're going to sell is a patch with the Wood Ducks colors. So this is going to be really cool. You're going to have the Wood Duck sign up there, and it says Kinston Police. So it's a novelty. You can't really use it, but I mean it's kind of cool. Raise money. So that's something that we try to do. We try to utilize the patch the best as we can. It brings pride, to our officers, and then it gives you a chance to get something, frame it up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool for town memorabilia for sure.
Yeah, and that's something that when I was a patrol officer, even when I was a patrol captain, I would walk downtown all the time, and I would find like really cool things to take pictures of it. Like if you go the next block over, where what's it called, the sushi place, Jay's. Yeah, that door's got roses up there. I thought it was cool. I took a picture of that one time. It's probably like 7-8 years ago. But you can find some really cool stuff just by walking around.
I like all the little random like tattoo art, graffiti, like randomly placed on things that you don't notice, and you walk by and you're like, has that been there this whole time? And I never noticed that little bird painted on that ledge. Mm-hmm. And then like sometimes it's like, no, I know that's new. Somebody just came and did that.
I love that we're doing that, man. It's really looking good. There's on the not the Mad Hatter, what's it called now? Stanley's place.
Harpendills?
Yes, Harpendills. On the west side of it, there's little like metal hooks there for your horses.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's sweet.
so weird, but so cool. So
Yeah.
every now and then you'll see something like that. Or if you keep on going eastbound to the next block over, there's what used to be the phone company, and where the church is, and there's an alley. You go through that alley, and there's like a phone booth on the side.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this doing?
That
here,
whole
man?
alley is super cool for
Yeah.
photos too. Like if you're looking for like really old, like it looks abandoned but not abandoned,
Yes.
and it kind of has that like what happens when you don't do anything in like a little area for like 10
we
years.
got together.
It looks actually neat.
My old patrol shift, when I was a captain, we all coming on our day off, and we had some guys from the fire department. We got together, and for like 6 hours, we cleaned all that up.
Oh, nice.
And we weren't doing it for recognition. We just wanted to clean it up. It was terrible. There was so much trash back there.
I bet.
There were shingles and stuff. So I think we did like 5 trailer loads of trash and had it all cleaned up. We sprayed Roundup and everything. So
That's cool.
it's grown up a little bit since then, but it was
Yeah, you can tell
terrible.
something was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's like not completely unsafe to walk back there. I don't know. I enjoy doing that, like poking around, walking through all the little alleys and stuff.
Yeah.
You just kind of see where people are doing stuff and making things a little nicer, a little bit by bit.
I love that. One thing that really drives me crazy is like litter. I can't stand litter, man. And really, this goes back to my old school days of my first house. I had a house on 258 North, all the way over there. But
All the way.
but it was right on the highway, and people would smoke their cigarettes, man, and would just throw them out. So I was constantly having to pick up before I cut my grass. So, but even downtown or throughout the city of Kinston, or any city actually, I just can't stand seeing litter, man. That's why I'm so thankful for the Kinston Trash Baggers.
The Trash Bashers.
When they put in the Trash Bashers, that's what it is.
Yeah. Great name.
They put in massive work, man, all through the county. And every now and then I'll try and jump in on a Saturday for an hour or so. But those guys and gals, I mean, they kill it, man.
Yeah, they do it. And they make like quick work of it too.
Yeah.
And it's an exercise, that they're just out walking, loving it.
I know, man. I wish there was a way that we could, do that for like community service. Just come on, guys, go ahead and clean the city up.
So interesting that you bring that up. The other day, we found out that it was posted on Facebook, so I feel like I can say it. Oh. Remember when they had a little vandalism at the park?
Yeah.
So the kid like damaged like the white display or whatever, broke it down.
Yeah.
He got 75 hours of community service.
Do I remember? Yes, I remember. I think my phone rang 275 times that day. And
I remember.
I had to
that.
come out, yeah.
That's when we had the big. That's what I think helped drive us to having the.
The mayor's task force.
Yeah, the task force and the like big thing at the gate.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that.
I do remember.
Been working.
Yes.
Do you recall? Yeah.
But yeah, so like I saw that too. I saw where he's got to do some community service. And
For DK.
I know, that's cool.
That's
like life changing.
yeah.
I mean, there's no telling when you might end up working there eventually.
Right. Yeah, that would be. You read about those things from time to time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be super cool.
Yeah,
that'd be super cool. Yeah, I was like, a lot of trash pickup.
Yeah,
easy start. So. For sure. The got the 4-way stop going in down here.
I was going to say, congratulations. I know you were a big pusher on that, man. Yeah. See, if you're boisterous and you want something to happen, you got to let people know. Yeah. That's what some of our city council members, they'll go on Facebook and they'll say that, hey, if you want change, vote who you want to vote for, but come to the city council and let us know what you want. When I say us, I'm talking for them because I'm not a us.
Right. Yeah, share ideas with
your ideas, absolutely. Yep. And that was a big thing. And I don't know who came up with that idea. I don't know if that was you or some of you guys, I'm sure. But putting a 4-way stop sign right there is awesome because I'm not a big 4-way stop sign guy, but for the safety right there at the park, there's a lot of people that go there.
A lot, kids.
Yes.
Yeah. So the reason that we had started bringing that up was when we first moved here, we had lunch at Mad Hatter, and we were been here for like a week.
And the cheeseburger.
And we're like, cool, the tots.
Oh, the Western burger.
The tots. The pepper jack.
We went there for like 2 weeks every day, me and Stephen Revis.
Dude, when they were on we did like a purchase. It was like a discount card that you could buy from DK. Yeah. So it was like $50, I think. Mm-hmm. Went to DK, and then you got, I think it was 20% off at Mad Hatter.
Yeah, they lost out.
Oh my god! Yeah. I ate there like every day because
that's amazing.
Anywho, yeah, we had lunch there, and then we were walking to the park because it was like, oh, we're gonna go downtown, we're gonna grab lunch, and we're gonna take you guys to the park, we're gonna hang out, and you start walking towards the park, come out of that building, start walking towards the park. So you're going west on North Street, and kids, you get about halfway, you go past that little parking lot, and there's that white block building on the corner, and kids see the park and they're like, yay! And kids, all they want to do, run to the dragon. And at that point, they hadn't even ripped out those trees.
Yeah.
So there was all this overgrowth, so you couldn't see. If you were driving your car north on Mitchell there, you could go down, hit the corner at Pearson, you start driving north, all you have is a building and a bunch of overgrown trees and bushes, and then like a kid would just dart out at you running because they see a park. Why not run? And so we initially saw that as a problem, and that's what really kind of sparked it. And we were talking with Leon about it and kind of going through, and it takes time to get stuff done. Obviously, we didn't have COVID happened, so like everything goes on whatever for a year or two. But yeah, it's super awesome to have that done.
I think
was
it's great.
So gassed about it.
And really slowing traffic down right there is a great idea. You got the park right there, and especially in the summertime, there's a lot of festivities taking place.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt. And the ultimate reason of it too is like, well, if you're a person that's trying to escape the slowdowns on Queen and Heritage because you're trying to get from here to there, you're going to go down Mitchell. And so a lot of times the people that are rolling over there are those people that kind of roll stop signs anyway. So even if people still show up and they slow down to roll the stop sign, it's still a victory over them just hitting it from Blunt all the way to the corner.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
I like it.
I like
super excited.
good, effective change. I always tell people that there's two things cops don't like, and that's change and doing the same thing over and over. So really, you just can't make us happy,
Yeah, that's
but
it,
in
man.
reality, I mean, that's actually pretty cool, the four-way stop sign. So
Happy about
whenever we went to Ireland years ago, they didn't have any four-way stops. Everything was a roundabout.
Yeah.
And like we were mesmerized. We were like, man, this is the best thing ever.
That's cool.
And then we got one, in Kinston, and of course people hated it, but we liked it. We're like, we love a roundabout.
It operates really well down there too.
Yeah. The
It
only
always
issues
flows.
that we've ever had right there are like 18-wheelers. We've had a couple tip over.
It's kind of tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're carrying a heavy load, like dead fish, for example, you want to slow down coming through there.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. And then when that happened, like you had to get environmental health involved.
That's a
It
drag,
was
dude.
terrible. I just called Lenore County Emergency Management, and they took care of it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Big brother.
thank you guys. We appreciate your help. You guys rock.
Yeah, it happens to be on a state road.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that would be a really cool place. So I don't say these things too much, but like in Columbus, a lot of people be like, well, then just go back. But in Columbus, they had a really cool thing in neighborhoods where there's a lot of pedestrian traffic.
Yeah, sure.
These high-rise pedestrian bridges that go over the street.
Yes.
I think one would be the best place for me is that first light. So you hit it, you go to the roundabout, then you start heading north. That first intersection, there's a traffic light there, and the city owns the property on both sides of the road.
That's Council Street. Yeah.
It could be super easy. They're going to put the health center there on the corner, but immediately east of MLK right there are 3 properties that the city actually has listed for sale right now. But I'm sure, I don't know. Like, I think if there would be a way if they tied it in with like handicap, there's ADA money federal that could potentially, the city owns the property on both sides of the street. You could potentially make
It's not a bad idea.
wheelchair ramp to go over. Now you have all the people in East Kinston. The fact that you have like a highway going through East Kinston, an area where probably the city has like 1 in 5 homes, households don't have vehicles, which means in certain areas it's higher than that, and in other certain areas it's lower than that. I would say that's probably an area where it's maybe it is 2 out of 5 households don't have a vehicle. A lot of pedestrian traffic, obviously, over there. That would be a super awesome place for a pedestrian bridge near the school, by the lunchbox, health center.
The Lunchbox has the best food.
That's what I've heard.
Man, you stop
I
in
gotta
there,
start
they got the
hitting it
best
up.
pork chops
Yeah,
ever.
I'm
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to think who else told me that.
That is Lunchbox.
Chad Rouse told me that place is smacking too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whenever when Stephen Revis, he retired with us recently, but whenever he worked with us, it was nothing for him to show up in his office and he'd have a plate. Where'd you get that from? And he'd open it up like, he'd have chicken wings, pork chop, whatever he had.
That's
it was
right there,
always
close to you guys,
amazing. He had so but Lunchbox has got excellent food and great coffee.
Yeah.
If you're a coffee drinker, it's really good coffee. Seriously, it's really good.
Nice. Well, cool, man. Well, cool. Look at that. Boom. 55.
It's been
just like that.
mackerel. That is insane,
I know.
man.
How it goes.
Let me ask you, how long have you guys had tickets to the Wood Ducks?
So through association, we had season tickets for we moved here in 2019 after the season had ended. we roll into 2020. We went to the first, they're like, welcome, meet the team. It wasn't meet the team, but it was like season ticket holders, come down for like a little hoopla, a little pep rally. And like the day after that, they shut down the baseball season for the year. So we missed all 2020. So yeah, and we moved here like huge baseball fan, dude. Like Cubs fan, WGN. That's why I was a Cubs fan, because they were on TV when I got home from school, like all that stuff. So love baseball. It's like I'd say it's probably one of my favorite sports when it's played well. I hate crappy baseball. It's boring. But so we missed the full 20 season. I'd say in the 2021 season, we maybe missed 7-8 games, something like that. And then last season we missed, I personally missed 4.
That's it.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
This year, we didn't renew our tickets this year, but
yeah, we used to go a lot of games when I was younger. Growing up, we went to a lot of Indians games. I didn't go to as many Wood Ducks games, so I'm part of the blame.
So you're part of the problem.
I'm part of the problem. Sorry about that, but still support them though. So.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, like I'll still people ask me about like, oh, you're gonna dump all your stuff. And I'm like, no, because like I actually every person that signed this jersey, I watched them play a whole baseball season. Like pretty much every home game that they had that year, 90% of them I saw. I can actually like look at the signatures and tell you who they are and like think of their face. So like keeping them obviously forever. That's all like personal experience stuff.
Yeah, and probably when my daughters were probably, let me think, maybe 7, 8 years old, and we went to every game, every Indians game. Like we knew. Like I knew Matt McBride, first baseman, batted fourth. I knew what his walk-up music was. I knew he went to Lehigh University, and then I followed him. Like he ended up playing for the Oakland A's, San Francisco Giants, and so every time we hear a certain song, my son will start singing "Now Batting Matt McBride." And that's what it was all about. You knew every player. Then like we would stay afterward, get their signatures, and one of them, my daughter, we still have it. It's a broken bat. He gave it to her.
Yes.
Now they're like 18 or 17 years old. They don't care nothing about baseball. But
it's just stuff in the corner in the room now. But
it's in the attic now. I think, I'm gonna have to break it out. So I'm gonna have to break it out and hang it up somewhere. That's what I'm gonna do.
You should.
Yeah,
you should.
I know. There's a lot of history with Granger Stadium. It would be kind of interesting if somebody would put something together so we could.
You want a video on the history of Granger Stadium?
Yeah, that'd be kind of
Click
cool.
right here. I already got one on my Additive America channel.
There we go. I love history, man.
Yeah,
I love history so much.
It's by Tommy Maddox.
Okay.
Tommy walks us through the whole stadium, gives us all of the deets.
Tommy's the GOAT, man. So I love history so much that at one time, I went on a battle tour here in Kinston by myself.
I do that, yeah.
And my wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm going on a field trip. And she's like, "You're going by yourself?" I'm like, "Yep." Yeah. So I go to the CSS News Enterprise Center over here and pay $10, and I go on a bus, and they bring me around Kinston, and they show me stuff. And it was really cool. I got to learn about a Battle of Kinston or something. So I tell my friends about it, and then they get all excited, and we go on another one, So I love history. And
Matt Young was telling us about the battlefield tours and stuff like that.
They're really interesting.
I want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, so let's say you don't know anything. Like I didn't know anything, but you go there, and then they explain it to you, and it shows you. I'm like, oh, okay, that's it's really, really interesting. And then I had to go somewhere for work one time, and on the way back through, it was like halfway. The halfway location was in Pennsylvania, Maryland. Okay. So I'm like, well, I'm going to take advantage of this. So I swung into Gettysburg, and I went there. And I was like, oh, man, I got to walk around there. And that was pretty cool. So I'm a big history guy.
Yeah, no, I am too, for sure. I like doing that stuff as well. Like, I'm a sucker for pulling over for those signs that kind of like have that look where you need to stop and read them. Like, I love that stuff.
Yeah,
super cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what you have to do now is you have to go to Tower Hill. You have to go find that rock I'm telling you about. And it's a small little plaque that talks about Arthur Dobbs. It's great for everybody.
Yeah, no, that is cool. I'm going to check that out. I like the things that I hope that we really expel upon as a downtown Kinston thing is this, like, we got a sign that says this is the birthplace of funk.
I know.
We should be having funk festivals.
That was cool. I know. I mean, who knew, I didn't know that.
I think that that's going to be something that gets played on a little bit more as a town from a marketing perspective. Funk is worldwide. Yeah. If this is the birthplace, now we have something to hang our hats on, really. That's
absolutely
not controversial. It's not a war topic. It's not a this. It's not a that. It's not a demonstration. It's flipping birthplace of funk, bro.
And everyone likes funk.
Who hates funk?
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So, hey, there's some really good things coming. I'm excited about Kinston. Like, I remember 10 years ago, no, probably 20 years ago, I was talking to my best friend's dad who owned a construction company down here. And he was like, man, you could buy a business here, a building down here for $2,000, which is the tax value at the time.
Yep.
And now you don't have a roof, you got to spend money on a roof. He said, but you can buy a building like it's nothing. But now, 2023, you know, you're not going to find a building downtown for less than $100,000.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
then you hope that hopefully the roof is intact and stuff. So, and I've seen some buildings take off here recently, you know, and there's some commerce coming down here. So it's really exciting. The skate shop, that's going to be big.
Yeah.
That's an awesome little building too. And
I like that spot. That location is really good.
Great location.
Yep.
Super excited for him. The tattoo place on Queen Street.
I like that because it extends us down a little farther because you got Tops, Bottoms, and Soles, you know, forever, right there on the corner. You got Manhattan, which gives you a little nightlife spin on that little block there, and then you're like about as far in from the edge of the street or the end of the block that Manhattan is on the other side. Now you've got the tattoo place, so they're not side by side, but now you're starting to put the pressure more so on the spaces in between them. And you saw that with like the Mockingbird bookstore this week with Liz and Chuck Hanks that own that. They partner up with Brandon from the from the House of Ink, and then they go in and do basically just a facade improvement.
Hey, that's a store.
Yeah, we understand you're not going to walk up to the door and go in and buy books, but damn, it looks a hell of a lot better than it does. It looks fantastic, and little things like that can be done to your buildings that all of a sudden it makes everyone's property value go up because now you don't feel like you're buying a house or a building across the street from like that neighbor that never mows his grass. You know what I mean? And that helps. It helps.
It's exciting, man. Like my wife and I, we're constantly looking for buildings. Well, I'm not saying we're going to bite at it, but we're constantly looking at buildings. You know, what can we?
We got to get you guys down here, get you a building, get you a little business going down here.
I'm telling you, I
got an idea for one.
When I was a kid in high school, I used to watch this show called The Highlander with Duncan MacLeod. He was the Clan of Clouds. He was a Scottish guy that lived for 400 years. Either way, he had a dojo downstairs and he lived upstairs. And I was like, man, that would be the coolest thing.
Yeah.
If I could have a business downstairs and live upstairs.
A dojo.
Yeah.
Be specific.
Yeah, it was a dojo.
That's what you guys need.
Yeah, it was
a dojo.
Yeah, I can't even.
Dojo and a residence.
Oh man, so like, awesome. So I've always told.
We've got it down here.
I've always told her.
We do have a dojo residence down here at the park.
I've always told Kristen, I was like, man, one day I want to live downtown. One day I want to live downtown. So I think we're getting closer. I'm thinking in about 2-3 years we're going to see what happens, man. Just looking for that right spot.
Business idea. Ready?
Yeah.
It is perfect. You got a pipeline of clientele right off the rip.
Okay.
Donut shop.
Okay.
And it's called the Donut Hole. And it's all police themed. You play on all of the police themes with donuts, and it's the Donut Hole, like solitary. And it's a little donut character behind bars. That's the logo.
It's not a bad idea. So me and Krista, we went to Britt's Donuts, Carolina Beach, years ago and fell in love with their donuts.
That stuff's amazing.
Yes, you know, it's just pure sugar. So then we come home, Kristen's like, this is all of her ideas. I'm going to give them to you right now, real quick. Idea number 1, let's get a donut shop downtown Kinston. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. She's like, no, to make it, it'd be great. I'm like, Kristen, we have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's an early, come on. So I said no to that. And then she was like, what about a pizza place? Let's put a pizza place downtown. I'm like, it's never going to make it. We're not putting a pizza place.
Right.
Yeah, and next year we put a pizza place down here and it's killing it.
Yeah.
So then she's like, all right, well, what about a cigar shop? A cigar shop downtown could make it. I'm like, I'm not doing a cigar shop. Well, now we got a cigar shop down, a little lounge area. And she had an ice cream place. Let's get an ice cream place down. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. We'll get an ice cream place down here. So whatever she wants to do is what we're going to do.
Donuts. And ice cream.
I don't know, man. We'll
do
see.
both.
Both, yeah.
Yeah.
And a mortgage company all at the same time.
And the mortgage.
We're going to have
that's what I'm saying. A little upstairs.
We're going to have an incubator.
Office. Yeah.
With a bunch of different businesses.
Well, one feeds the other, right? Like,
that's what we're going
the patrons are the leads. And then you sell all the inside sponsorships too.
Well, it's next year. So we've got my daughter's going to ECU, and then I got Lindsay, and then she'll be gone next year. So we'll be kidless. So we could probably do something like that. And hopefully they're taking their Yorkies with them, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, are they allowed to take the dogs to the dorms?
Well, so Lacey's
not Tony though, right?
No, they're both going to go. It's a package deal.
You're letting them go?
I would let him go.
Wow.
But
that's big.
I don't think it's going to happen, so we'll see. But so they're going to probably get an apartment the following year because
together,
yeah. So then they can bring their dogs. But Their mom's putting a lot of pressure on them, but I don't think it's going to happen because they don't even take care of their dogs now.
Right.
So I feel like we're going to keep the Yorkies.
Well, they'll have plenty of time once they don't have high school anymore. You know, they'll be focused on keeping up their living space nicely. And
those dogs drive my wife crazy. So then I'm constantly, and you can ask her about this time. Next time you see her, ask her this. There's not a day that goes by I don't send her pictures of dogs from the SPCA here in Lenore County. I'm like, what about this one? What about? Oh, she's like, if you you're not bringing a dog home.
yeah.
So
you should have got that coyote dog. Did you see that one?
It was called Coyote. Yeah, it was beautiful.
That dog was cool.
I thought that's what your dog was when I walked in here. I thought you guys had got
We
Coyote.
went and got him. Yeah.
Man,
dude, that's the one. That's the one for you.
Those dogs break my heart every time I see it, man.
I know. Yeah, you were telling us about that one the other day. It was pretty terrible.
Oh, I know, it's terrible. But those dogs, that dog is going to it'll get adopted. So they do a lot of good work out there.
Oh yeah,
thank goodness.
Tiffany Jarman she's moving the dogs. I mean, she's making it happen. She running the social page.
She's killing it, man. Yeah. She's a beast. She's really good.
I know it's going away, but I like that in conjunction with the animal control KPD post where it's like, here's the 19 dogs we captured today. Hey, that was hilarious.
I know.
I liked it.
Like, we always put in there, if this is your dog, contact SPCA, and someone's like, don't, look what they did to that dog. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Except for picture 17, you can just not
17, 19, and 21, not those owners. No. But yeah, I feel bad for the dogs, man. So,
that's funny.
Kids always pick on me. So then there's like a little dog up there. And like, what about this one? I'm like, no, we've got 2 boys. We can't have no more boys. No. It's too rambunctious. So, yeah.
They jump in the pool?
Yeah. So Tony does not. Okay. Tony Yorkie at Facebook. Tony Yorkie does not, but Benny does. So I was
Tony and Benny. It's like they should open a pizza shop.
Right. So yesterday, what day was it? Today's Friday. So it was a couple of days ago. Kristen was reading a book or something on the back porch, and I was moving the fireplace on the patio. And we heard a splash and looked over there, and there's Benny in there swimming in the pool. So he swims.
He can get out fine.
He can get out. Tony does not. Tony would freak out. He would probably drown. Seriously. I mean, he doesn't know where the steps are. No matter where you put him in, he just freaks out.
He didn't believe. Yeah, he'd be in like full panic mode.
But Benito, that's what I call him, Benito. He does. He knows exactly where to go. He loves it.
I love it.
It's crazy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. You come over and see him go get in the pool.
We'll have to do that. Definitely have to do that. Something about just a little Yorkie just jumping in the pool by himself and just paddling around. It's just hilarious. Really just hear a splash, look over, there he is. Chilling.
He's not little though. He's a little chunk monk. But he don't know it. I was telling him I had to go to the Lions industry, the Lions Club the other day. I think it was the Lions Club, and I was giving them just talking to him about police work and about who I am. Mm-hmm. And I was telling him a story, and I was talking about Benny, my Yorkie. And I was like, Ben is this really fat Yorkie that doesn't know he's fat. He's just a little chubby little Yorkie. We love him. But when we first got him, he would run all over the place. He likes to play soccer. What I mean by that is you give him a ball and he hits it and runs around.
Oh, yeah.
So he would do that for like 30 minutes and then would never get tired. But then as he got older, he's only 3, but we got him fixed. And but now he can do like 2 laps. Then he goes and gets in the pool. Then he goes to sleep.
That's hilarious.
So he's like the fat Yorkie doesn't know he's fat, which brings me to this story. When I was a young police officer, I was probably like 22 or 23. I worked on this unit called the Special Operations Unit. We wore a different type of uniform than a patrol uniform. And I had court one day. So whenever you had court, you would go put your Class A uniform on with shirt and tie and your medals and everything. So I got to put it on, and it didn't fit. It was tight. And I was like, well, this don't make any sense. So I put the other one on, and it was tight. And I told my wife, I was like, man, I don't know what you're washing these clothes with, but it don't fit, She started laughing like you're laughing. And I'm looking at it all serious. She's like, yeah, you put about 15, 20 pounds on. I was like, oh. Yeah. So I was the guy who didn't know he was getting fat, So me and Benny got something in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like father, like son.
That's crazy.
I can see her being like, Cave.
I know. She's going to kill me. She's going to say, I cannot believe you said that on Zach's show. But,
well,
hey.
She's got to make it this far in to catch it.
Yeah.
So it could be a couple weeks. Might be okay.
She'll be over it by then.
Right.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, as long as I love it though. So that's the best part. If you don't know, you should check it out. You should check out the Keeping It Real with Kristen Goyette podcast. It's amazing. It's funny.
Shameless plug.
Good time. Yeah, shameless plug, Motto Mortgage. So there you go. Definitely check that out. Maybe I'll just go ahead. I'll make that the video that's at the end of this one that you can click on.
Yeah.
We'll throw it over to her.
There you go. And
Instead of you getting hit with a video of mine to watch, you're going to get Keeping It Real. Estate.
The hardest part for her is getting that part out.
Yeah, the intro.
To get that intro and see what nobody knows is on the way here. I try to come with her whenever she does her little thing. And the whole time, I'm just sitting in the passenger seat or I'm the driver's seat, and she's saying it over and over and over. And I'm like, you're going to be fine. You're going to kill it. You're great. Yeah. And then for the most part, she is. Mm-hmm. So she just beats herself up.
That's why it's so fitting and ironic that I flipped my intro today with you on that show.
That's the funniness behind it. I was
perfect.
I was really expecting to hear some Ultimate Warrior music as soon as I came out here.
That's right. You sent me the clip. Yeah. I found out that I can't because it's copyright. So they would give me the tags, man. I know.
Get in trouble. Yeah. That's the last thing I need is the police chief getting in trouble. So.
Yeah. Well, not you. It'd just be me,
I'm a part of it, though.
I'm just trying to get rich, on YouTube.
I'm aiding and abetting this, see?
That is true. Yeah.
You don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Stay out of the magistrate's office is what I learned. Yes. Just sit back and don't do anything. Just wait. Slow play.
Another plug.
It's a whole nother video.
Yes.
That's a dark episode. I'll be on OnlyFans later. $5.
I'm not even going to go there.
Anywho, really appreciate you coming on today, man.
Yeah, man.
On your not day off. That worked out.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm off now, so.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I forgot to work till lunchtime and then.
A little half day.
Yeah, a little half day action. So, but hey, man, glad to be here anytime. And
for sure.
I'll tell you like I tell everybody, if you ever need me, call me. I'll come running.
Yeah.
Or I'll come texting.
Another thing you can do, you ever catch you out in public, got something to say?
Oh.
He loves it. Walk right up. Right. You can interrupt whatever he's doing and
got to be approachable and accessible.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's a good one to end on. Well, cool, man. I really appreciate you coming out. For all you checking this one out, just keeping it with, oh my God. Yes.
Twice.
Yes. She's going to be psyched, dude. She's going to be psyched.
I'm not even going to tell her.
Oh, we'll see if she watches, if she catches on. Because she'll either not say anything. She'll be like, it was great. And say nothing. And I'll be like, you're a liar. You didn't watch it. Yeah, she's going to be super excited. Oh, man. This was episode 50 of Kicking It With. I'm Zac Holcomb. This is Police Chief Keith Goyette. And we'll catch up with you on episode 51.